Hello, guys. Welcome all. I'm your host, CPA Dekon Mohammed. So today's session, guys, I want to teach you in a nutshell, just in few words, about research process. And for me to illustrate well, because I don't want to define research problem, I don't want to define research process. I just want to give you a scenario. Then be able to understand very well about the research process, and everything that we undergo to derive conclusion and recommendation. For me, to dwell in this, guys, first, I want to take as an example of a business called early traders. We have early traders. Now, these early traders, we want to examine their revenue performance. We want to examine their revenue performance for these early traders. I want to give you a scenario so that you understand well about this research. So let's have the here. We want to start a table here. Let me insert a table here so that we understand well what is about this revenue performance. So we have the column for revenue performance, and we want to use 2021, 2022, and 2023. So here we have revenue, revenue performance, revenue performance. Then here we have the year we can say 2022. Sorry, we can start with 2021, 2022, 2023. We have 2021, 2022, and 2023. Now, what I need to do, I want to give a scenario here. Now, the revenue performance, let's say for 2020, 2021 was 6,800,000, 6.8 million. And our revenue performance for 2022 is 8 million. Now, 2023 revenue performance has decreased to 6,200,000. Guys, look at this. We are discussing the revenue, the Ali Traders revenue performance. 2021, the revenue performance of Ali was 6.8 million. 2022 was 8 million. 2023 is 6.2. Is there a problem? Yes, guys, there's a problem. Revenue reduction. Our revenue has decreased from 8 million to 6.2. There's a problem. Now we need to investigate what is the root cause for this problem. That's where research comes out. And this is one of the sources of getting the research problem. Now, in this scenario, we have derived our research problem through experience. We are seeing our revenue reduction. So we need to do a study to identify what is the root cause for this problem, whereby our revenue has decreased from 8 million to 6.2, which is a significant decrease. This is a significant decrease. Now, let's ask ourselves, what can be the causes of this? What can be the cause of this reduction? Number one cause, we can have, let's say we have competition problem. Maybe there is another company that has been started in our premises, in the location of our premises. So maybe majority of the customers are going there, the other side, instead of coming to this to our place. There's a problem of competition. Number two, maybe we can talk about there's a problem of motivation. Maybe the staff are not motivated. The staff are not motivated. That's another factor that can cause our revenue to decrease. Maybe if the staff are not motivated, they may not be working harder to for the interest of the company. So if there's a problem of motivation, obviously it can lead to a reduction. Lastly, maybe we have problems with technology. Maybe we are not accepting that there's new innovations that we need to make use to make our profit, to make our sales grow. Maybe we are lacking, we need to introduce e-procurement or something to do with internet marketing. We need to do digitalization. We need to market our products. awareness. There's problem of awareness. We don't have any advertising, so there's a technology problem. Now, based on this, I can form a topic here. I want you guys to form a topic based on these things. We have the revenue performance being affected by competition, motivation, and technology. Now, guys, I want to form a topic from this scenario. I want to form a topic. For me to form a topic, I have these three factors: competition, motivation, and technology. These are the independent variable. These are our independent variable. And revenue performance is our dependent. We have two variables here. We have the dependent variable and independent variable. In our case, we have the dependent variable. We have the IVs. These are our IVs. These are our independent variable that we have them here. Now, I want you guys to see so that you understand this thing very well. I want you to form something so that you understand. I show you the independent variable and then the independent variable and the dependent variable. If I have this, let me slide down this one so that you see well. So we have this competition, motivation, and technology. We have this competition, motivation, and technology. This becomes our independent variable because they are the one affecting the DV. And then we have here revenue performance, the other side, which is the other factor that is affecting. So we have this competition here. We also have this motivation as a factor. We have also motivation as a factor. There's something I want to show you guys so that you understand this process very well. And we have that the motivation, and then we have the technology. All of these are affecting our revenue performance. All of these are affecting our revenue performance. Guys, all these three factors are affecting our revenue performance. Revenue performance. Now you see the technology competition. Now this becomes now our IV. IV means the independent variable. And this revenue performance becomes the dependent variable. Guys, uh, if you have any problem differentiating between the independent and the dependent variable, independent variable is the factor that is affecting the other factor. This competition is affecting the revenue performance. Motivation is affecting the revenue performance. Technology is affecting the revenue performance. So these factors that are affecting the other factor is the independent. That's why we call it independent. But this independent we call DV. This DV, the DV is the dependent variable, is the DV, is the factor being affected here. For this case, revenue performance becomes our DV. And guys, this is what we call conceptual framework. For you to have this conceptual framework, you must show the dependent and the dependent variable. And there's also this competition can have several other, we call them determinants. We show that. I will show you guys later. Now we have the DV and the DV. Guys, here we have our independent variable and dependent variable. Now I want to form a topic here. I want to form a topic. In this case, I want to form a topic. For me to form a topic, let me start with because the topic must have the DV and the IV, the DV and IV. The topic must also have the what is the business there, and then the location. Now I can say factors, factors, factors affecting, factors affecting. You can say factors affecting revenue performance, revenue performance. Now, these early traders, let's call them their small traders. We can call them their small traders. So, revenue performance, factors affecting revenue performance. Now, among the small traders, now in Nairobi, Kenya, this becomes our location. It must have, guys, for you to come a topic, it must have the variables. For this case, these factors become our, this becomes our IV, the independent variable. Revenue performance becomes the DV, the dependent variable. And then small scale traders, this is the what we are focusing on. What is that? Is it a business? Is it an organization? The type where you are where you will have your respondent. This becomes our small traders. Then the location, Nairobi, which is in Kenya. Now, for me to continue, guys, there's still another way we can form this topic. We can say still, we can say still, we can still say effect of, we can still say effect of competition, effect of competition, effect of competition. You can say effect of competition, effect of competition. Then we can say also motivation, effect of motivation, motivation, and technology, technology among the small scale, among the small traders, among the small traders, among small traders in Nairobi, Kenya. Guys, this thing is still the same. In this, the other scenario, I just written the factors instead of writing factors. I've just written the effect now. I have also listed the factors: competition, motivation, and technology affecting the small traders in Nairobi, Kenya. Now you know, first, the first step is the research problem. That is the first process. We have the problem. Number one is the problem, research problem. Research problem was reduction in revenue. Guys, remember there's difference between problem, statement problem, and the statement of the problem. We come to that later. But we have known that the problem was there is a decrease in revenue performance from 8 million to 6.2. That was a problem. Now, this becomes the topic that we have stated. The problem is that it is the factors affecting the revenue performance among the small traders in Nairobi, Kenya, or the effect of competition, motivation, and technology among the small traders in Nairobi. Now, you have the topic. Once we have the topic now, we want to go to objective, what we call research objective, research objective. Now, our objective is derived from the topic. We derive the objective from the topic. And we have what we call general objective, general objective, general objective. Now, general objective, it is the main topic, the way it is, the overall, the topic as it is. That is the general objective. Because we have general objective, we also have specific objective. You have to understand well the difference between the specific, this is we call it specific, not just a general, but we call it specific objective. You now have to know the difference between the general objective and the specific objective. Now, for us to state here our general objective, we are using the main topic to establish the general objective. We can say now the general objective is the study maybe is to evaluate. To evaluate. You can say this becomes our to evaluate, to evaluate factors, to evaluate factors affecting the way it is. You just copy this one. We are just the general objective. We are just taking the uh, guys. The general objective. We are just taking the topic the way it was to evaluate. We have just added evaluate, but everything remains same. Factors affecting revenue performance among the small scale traders in Nairobi, Kenya. In Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya. Now this becomes the general objective. We are just writing the topic the way it was, the general. Now we come to specific objective. Specific. Now specific objective now. We now choose the specific factors that affect. We have factor of competition, factor of motivation, and factor of technology. That is a specific objective. Now, specific objective, we just take the first factor, then we write the second factor, the third factor. That's why we call it specific, but general, just the topic the way it was. That's the general objective. Now, specific objective, we can say the first one is to investigate effect of compet competition. Let's start with competition. Competition. Effect of competition on revenue performance. Can just copy the way it was like this. Revenue performance. That is to investigate the effect of competition on revenue performance among the small scale traders in Nairobi, Kenya. That is our first specific objective. Our next specific objective, we take again the other factor. We take the other factor. We can say to establish effect of number two factor is motivation. Motivation to establish the effect of motivation. Now you can just copy the other one on revenue performance among the small scale traders in Nairobi, Kenya. On revenue performance among the small scale traders in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, our last specific objective, we can say find out effect, effect of the other one is technology, and you can just copy the other one the way it is on revenue performance among that on revenue performance among the small traders in Nairobi, Kenya. Now we have the specific objective. We have the general objective. We have stated our objective. The general objective is from the main topic. Specific is the factors. Now we want to go to what we call hypothesis. 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 Now in this hypothesis, there's what we call null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Guys, this hypothesis, we have two types of hypothesis. We have the null hypothesis null, and then we have alternative hypothesis. Now, generally, hypothesis is that we are just making an argument that what we are going to state, will it be true or not when we have the null and the alternative hypothesis. Now, basically, when you're doing a research, you normally state your hypothesis in null, whereby you say that these factors does not have any specific, these factors don't affect the the revenue performance. We are going to say that competition does not affect, that is the null hypothesis. We are going to uh, we state in the negative terms. We are going to state in negative terms so that later, when we are going to uh, establish the data and find out that competition has an effect, then we can say we reject the null hypothesis. Now we state in null, normally we state in negative terms. Now we can say normally state the hypothesis in null, whereby we are going to say if each of the factors does not have any effect. Now let's start with the first hypothesis H1. We can say motivation. Motivation, not we can start with competition. 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 Competition has no significant effect. Has no significant effect. Has no significant effects on revenue performance. On revenue performance among small scale traders. Among small traders. Among small traders in Nairobi. You can state our second hypothesis, whereby we can say motivation. 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 Motivation also has no significant effect. Has no significant effect. Motivation has no significant effect on revenue performance among the small traders in Nairobi. Now, the last factor is the third hypothesis there is technology. Technology, you can say, has no significant effect, has no significant effect on the revenue performance among the small traders in Nairobi. Now, we have stated the null hypothesis. Now, this is null. We don't say alternate. Now, this is just null hypothesis. Or you can just say, just talk about hypothesis. This is a null. Now, these are the arguments we're just making. But later, when we do the analysis, we went to the field, we have done data collection, we analyze the data, and then we find out that competition has an effect. Then you say you reject the null hypothesis. Now, guys, we have stated the topic, we have stated the objective, we have stated the hypothesis. Now, we need to go what you call statement of the problem. Statement of the problem. We need to go to statement of the problem. And how do you state the problem? Guys, there's a difference between problem and statement of the problem. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Now, statement of the problem, we need to know the knowledge gap. What is the knowledge gap? Now, here in this case, the knowledge gap here is there's a reduction. There's a reduction of profit. Like we can say, 2023 revenue performance have decreased. Early traders business, we can just somehow write a brief statement. We can just write we can just write say we can talk about early traders. We can just say early traders, early traders business have profit, revenue, Ali business revenue, performance, revenue performance have reduced, have reduced, have reduced significantly, significantly in 2023 by how many percentage? We need to say if you take from 8 million to 6.2, if you compare those, that is almost like 1.8 million have reduced by 1.8 million. Now we need to give you need to give percentage. If you take 6.2 million divided by 8 million, that one will give you 77%. That is which represent 77%, which represents 77%. Early traders business revenue performance have reduced significantly in 2023 by 1.8 million. From, in fact, you can just say from 80 million to 6.3 to 6.3 million to 6.3 million, which represents 77%. And this is significant. Therefore, I'm just giving a brief, but if it is the real research, guys, if you're doing the real research here, you have to give some introduction of the review, the other studies also. I'll give you another class on how to do this. But now I'm just giving an overview of how to state the problem, just the problem statement. Now, therefore, the study will investigate, can say now, effect of factors affecting revenue performance. We investigate factors affecting revenue performance. Factors affecting revenue performance among the small traders in Nairobi. Guys, let's say you are doing a topic of tax. If you're doing a topic of tax, you have to go and state those revenue collection made by the revenue authority, revenue collections. If you are doing a topic on tax, you have to state the revenue collection. Maybe, for example, in Kenya, we have Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA. If KRA collects 2022, they collected 1.2 trillion, and 2023 they collected 1.8 trillion. There's a reduction. There's a problem that warrants an investigation. Though the main point of argument should be that reduction, and we have to show it, like the way we have shown now. We also given in percentage. Now, once we state the problem, we have already stated our problem. Now, what we need to do, we have already identified that, and I've done the conceptual I have done. Now we need to go what we call literature review. Guys, I'm not going to dwell in this other, we have literature review. We also have the data collection. And then we have to do the data analysis. Now, this data collection is under, this is research design. Research design. Once you do that, the research design, now we have to go to results. You have, because once you go to the field, you are going to collect data. And once you collect data, you have to analyze those data. Remember this design, some other researchers call it research methodology. Methodology. This is there. Some other guys, some other research call this research methodology. And then we go for results and discussion. And then conclusion and recommendation. Now, guys, what I've done is just the first topic, the first chapter, chapter one. Now, I will give another, I will roughly give another topic, another video on each of these chapters. Literature review, the design, results, and discussion. But I can just give you an overview whereby now this literature review. Now, in our case, we had this revenue reduction. You have to go to Google Scholar. We normally use the Google Scholar. Then you go and look about those studies that have been done on revenue performance. You download all those studies, you analyze those studies, you identify what have other previous studies have said. Because in literature review, we have the theoretical literature review and conceptual. You have to know the theoretical review. You have to know the theories that have been used by the previous studies to identify to explain this problem. Because each of them have a specific theory that is used to explain these studies. Now, once you do that, you have to go to Google Scholar, you download those publications, and you have to explain what they state in a nutshell. You have to explain that in a nutshell. So you have to state the theories. You also go and look at the previous studies, what they have done, what they have shown, and then you come to that conclusion of the body, introduction, and the conclusion. This is the design is all about the data collection method. We have the data collection, data collection. We also talk about the what have you used to collect the data. Maybe you have used questionnaire. If you use questionnaire, that's a method of data collection. Primary collection. Primary is the one you collected yourself. Secondary is the one you are going to use those published studies. Data collection. We have primary and secondary. Apart from data collection, we also have the sampling technique. Sampling technique. I'm going to show a video for sampling in a different, and then you show that. You have to discuss the results. Guys, I'm going to give you everything in a specific video. But I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you for watching. More video will be coming to explain more about research method. You can also comment the specific topic or variable you want to know more about it. I was your host, CPA Deko Mohammed. Thank you.